Self-conscious emotions, such as guilt, shame, embarrassment, and pride, are emotions that relate to our sense of self and our consciousness of others' reactions to us. Description of self-conscious emotions. During the second year of life, new emotions begin to emerge when children gain the understanding that they themselves are entities distinct from other people, and begin to develop a sense of self. These emotions include shame, pride, guilt, envy, embarrassment. Self-conscious emotions have been shown to have social benefits. These include areas such as reinforcing social behaviors and reparation of social errors. There is also possible research suggesting that a lack of self-conscious emotion is a contributing cause of bad behavior. They have 5 distinct features that differentiate them from other emotions. Require self-awareness and self-representation. Emerge later than basic emotions. Facilitate attainment of complex social goals. Do not have distinct universally recognized facial expressions. Cognitively complex. Development of self-conscious emotions. Self-conscious emotions are among the latter of emotions to develop. 2 reasons are at the cause of this. Body language. Emotions such as joy, fear, and sadness can all be gathered reliant on just a person's face. However, self-conscious emotions heavily involve the body in addition to the face. Darwin, 1965. This means that, when humans are attempting to learn emotions, they have more to tend to, making the emotions harder to grasp. Self-awareness. Due to the nature of these emotions, they can only begin to form once an individual has the capacity to self-evaluate their own actions. If the individual decides that they have caused a situation to occur, they then must decide if the situation was a success or a failure, based on the social norms they have accrued, and then attach the appropriate self-conscious feeling. Wiener, 1986. This is a complex cognitive skill, and one that takes time to master. Biological complexity. As stated, self-conscious emotions are complex, and are harder to learn than basic emotions such as happiness or fear. This premise also has biological backing. Frontotemporal lobar degeneration. Frontotemporal lobar degeneration, FTLD, is a neurodegenerative disease that attacks the brain selectively in the frontal lobe, temporal lobe and amygdala. Patients suffering from FTLD offer information on the biological complexity involved in generating self-conscious emotions. With the use of a startle experiment, where patients and control participants are exposed to an unexpected and loud sound, it has been shown that sufferers of FTLD show and experience the basic negative emotions expected to be attached to the startling sounds. However, they show significantly less signs of experiencing self-conscious emotions compared to control groups. This is due to an inhibition of embarrassment caused by the damaged brain. Sturman-Rosen, 2006. The ability to show basic emotions, while lacking the ability to perform the more complex self-conscious emotions, demonstrates that self-conscious emotions are biologically harder to perform than average emotions. It should also be noted that FTLD patients tend to struggle in social situations. Sturman-Rosen, 2006. This is again linked with their inability to perform self-conscious emotions adequately. Social benefits. Acquiring the ability to perform self-conscious emotions may be relatively difficult, but does bring benefits. The main benefits being those of social harmony and social healing. Social harmony. Self-conscious emotions are seen to promote social harmony in different ways. The first is its ability to reinforce social norms. It does this in a very similar way to that of operant conditioning. Performing well in situations, while keeping to social norms, can elicit pride. This feels good, so therefore encourages the behavior to be repeated. Equally, performing in a situation, while not sticking to the social norms, can leave individuals feeling embarrassed. This feels bad, and is generally avoided in the future. An example of this is a study, Brown, 1970, where participants were shown to choose avoiding feelings of embarrassment over financial gains. Social healing. Self-conscious emotions enable social healing. When an individual makes a social error, feelings of guilt or embarrassment changes, not just the person's mood, but their body language. In this situation, the individual gives out nonverbal signs of submission, and this is generally more likely to be greeted with forgiveness. This has been shown in a study where actors knocked over a supermarket shelf. Semin and Manstead, 1982. Those that acted embarrassed were received more favorably than those who reacted in a neutral fashion. Levels of embarrassment are found to be easier to see in females and African Americans than compared to male and Caucasian targets. Keltner, 1995. This is due to social learnings from previous generations. Poor behavior and self-conscious emotions. Initially, self-conscious emotions were looked upon as troublesome and all part of an internal fight. However, views on this have now changed. There is a strong link between the ability of an individual to regulate their behavior in an appropriate manner and problems with their self-conscious emotions. A school was able to list a set of boys who were classified as prone to aggression and delinquent behavior. When these boys sat an interactive IQ test, they scored higher on scores of anger compared to normal boys at the school. They also scored lower in feelings of embarrassment. Keltner, 1995. Caution should be taken with regards to these studies. While the findings are becoming more robust, the number of different variables involved will make it hard to ever come to a conclusion on the subject of poor behavior being caused by these deficiencies, with the difficulty only being further increased by the hardship of creating the proper environment within a lab where self-conscious emotions would not only occur, but could be adequately measured and would not only